So I wanted to put together a quick video showing you some really simple Canvas tips and tricks just to make your life a little bit easier, some things that you may not realize exist in Canvas. So the first few of them I want to show you have to do with grades. So if I'm in Canvas and I go into the grades page, there's a couple things that I can do in here to control how things work. Now by default, all your student names are on the left, and then a list of all of your assignments moves over to the right. And then you get, if you have categories, you have category weights, and then your total for your final grade is all the way over here on the right-hand side. After 1 or 2 semesters, this gets really long and you have to scroll forever to get over there. Well, if you wanted to, what you can do is where that total column is, you can tap on the 3 dots next to it and you can say move to front. And what this will do is this will move that total or final score column right next to your students' names. So they will show up right next to each other without having to scroll all the way over every single time that you do that. So for this next tip, let's say I have an assignment that I haven't finished grading yet. I can actually go and tell it to hide that assignment. And so if I tell it to hide grades, I get this little pop-up here that will hide this for all classes, or I could even go to specific sections if I've maybe graded first hour but not second hour and so on. When it's hidden, students will not be able to see any notifications, so they won't get pop-ups that tell you that you've made comments or that you've added a score or changed a score or anything like that until you unhide it. So when I hide an assignment, what happens is that grade will actually have a little eyeball next to it with a slash. That means this is a hidden assignment. And all I need to do is once I've finished grading everyone's work, then I'll simply click on it again and tell it to post grades, and then that assignment goes live for all students simultaneously at the exact same time. Now, another really cool assignment tip that I really like is I have a teacher, a 6th grade science teacher named Mrs. Calva, who's an amazing teacher, who actually went through all of her assignment names and inserted emojis based on the unit that they are studying. So if they are, she has little dinosaurs and little owls and things added actually to the assignment names of her assignments. And all you have to do that is if I open up an assignment and go to edit, in that assignment name, if I right click, I'm using a Mac, but if I right click, there's an option for emojis and symbols, and I can choose to add an emoji or symbol to my assignment name. And if you add it to the front, it makes it really easy for students to see what unit this is coming from. Maybe you're going to change a different symbol for each grading period or something like that. And I know as far as PowerSchool is concerned, these assignments do still sync to PowerSchool, and they even bring those symbols over to PowerSchool as well. Now, these next few tips have to do with the assignments section in my sidebar here. So if I go to assignments, I have the ability to reorganize the categories. So when I have assignment groups here, you may have imported these from your grading system, or you may have created these yourself, but chances are you may have a lot of different groups that show up. But you can actually customize that. So some people like to use an assignment group that simply holds a spot or to store assignments that you haven't published yet or something along those lines. But you can actually rearrange these groups by simply clicking on those little dots in front of it and dragging it up or down, and you can actually move entire blocks worth of assignments so you don't have to scroll down all the time to see the ones that you want. So you can totally customize the look of those categories and those assignment groups when you are dealing with it. The other thing that you might need to do is maybe you make a new assignment group for something and you needed to move all of the things into a new category. So here's an imported assignments. Maybe I imported something from one course to another. If I tap on the 3 dots next to it, I could actually move the contents, this will take all of the contents within this assignment group, and I could simply choose to move it to a different group. And so I could choose, hey, I want this to go to this category instead, and I can choose, simply hit move, and all of those assignments get put into that other assignment group instead of having to drag them one at a time. Now, if you're a school that has Studio, like we do in Pattonville, Studio has the ability to create really cool screen recording videos. And if I've created one here, if I click on it to open it up, when that video opens, it gives me a few different options. One of those options is this little share button. It's kind of a weird 3-dot share button here. And when I click on this share button, it gives me a couple different ways to share this video. Now, by default, things that I've made in Studio can be imported directly into my pages or in my assignments by using the plug icon in my rich content editor to put those in there. But another option is if I click that share icon and I tell it to share or create a public link, what this does is this gives me a direct link to this file. So this is a public URL that I could give to anyone, and they would be able to access this. So they would not have to be a member in my course. They would not have to be an actual student to be able to see it. So if I'd made a really cool Studio video that I wanted to share with non-Canvas users, or even post this into simply an email or something like that, I could actually take things that I've made in Canvas Studio and still share them with other people by creating public links. I could also still put these in Canvas as just a standard link into my courses instead of using the plug tool if I want as well. Another cool tip has to do with your to-do list. So if I go into my dashboard, and whether I'm a student or a teacher, some teachers get really frustrated with the things that show up in your to-do list. Maybe they're things that you've done that didn't get marked off or whatever. Any of these things can be managed by you. This is your individual to-do list. So if there's things in here that you don't want, I can simply X this out, and this will disappear off my to-do list until somebody else resubmits another assignment into that category. Same is true for students. So if a student is using maybe the iOS app to access their Canvas, they can swipe to the left, and when they swipe, they'll get an option to delete things off of their to-do list. Now, these next two tips have to do with your settings. So if I'm in any course, on the left-hand side, I have an option to access the settings for that course. So there's two things that exist in here I want to point out. The first, if I go to my main settings course, is on the right-hand side in this sidebar, there's an option that says validate links in content. What this is going to do is this is going to check all of the links that exist in every one of my pages in this course to tell me if I have any links that are broken, which means maybe I have a link to something that hasn't been published, or maybe I have a link to something where that website doesn't exist anymore, or the file doesn't exist anymore, or so on. So if I do a link validation, this will show me any issues that I have. So I have a page here called Technology, and on that page, there are links to other things that may not be accessible to students in the course. That means that maybe I moved them, or maybe I unpublished them, or something along those lines. And I could actually click on that, and it would take me right to it for me to be able to verify or test that out. Or I could go back to the main page and be able to see where on that page that those things live. So now the other option I want to point to has to do with the rich content editor. So if I'm in any page and I go to edit and I have the rich content editor that shows up with my options at the top, I have to make changes and then make sure I click save every single time for those changes to be applied. But sometimes if you forget to hit save, or you make changes and you moved on, or maybe your browser crashes or something and you didn't save your changes, you lost any changes that you made. So if you want to, in your settings, I can go to my settings and go over here at the top to where it says feature options. And then there is an option down here at the bottom called auto save. And what I can do here is if I turn this on by clicking on it and telling it to enable it, this will save my page automatically. So anytime I make changes to my page or open up my rich content editor, when I open that up and just start typing or adding something, it will automatically add and save those changes as soon as I've done it, instead of having to click save every single time. One last tip I want to show, and this is probably one that can save your life if you have issues. Sometimes you've done something and you accidentally deleted something and you didn't mean to. Maybe you deleted an assignment or a group of assignments or a category or whatever it is. There's a trick that you can use to try to bring deleted things back. And the way to do that is to open up your course and go to the home page. And from the home page, it'll have your URL up here at the top and your address bar. At the end of that URL, you're going to add a slash and then the word undelete, all in one word, and then simply hit return. And what this will do is this will show you the items in your course that have been deleted. And this goes all the way back to the creation of the course in most cases, and it shows you what things were created, what things have been deleted, and if there's anything that was deleted on accident that you did not want to delete, you can hit restore to attempt to bring those things back. So it's not foolproof. It doesn't work 100% of the time. Sometimes it doesn't show things that were deleted, but it's a great thing to try first if you accidentally deleted something you didn't mean to delete.